Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and thank you all for the support and continuous comments and phone calls. Now we're off to part 2 of our Jamaica dairy sector episode where we dig deep into the sector to try to discover avenues or potentials to grow this industry. Our investigation led us to the Jamaica Dairy Development Board to kind of better understand their role in the sector and to meet with Mr. Byron Lawrence, who kind of gave us the role of research and the needed development parts. And Dr. Jennings, the second CEO, kind of gave us a history and the onset of the need of the Jamaica Dairy Development Board and issues that we face. His issue was definitely policy to guide the sector forward, while Mr. Byron Lawrence focused on research and record keeping to improve on-farm productivity. Then we looked at the adoption of appropriate technology, which is lacking in the dairy sector. Technologies that improve your feeding system and feed delivery. Also, cow comfort, an important feature to drive the sector forward. Let's continue this journey together to discuss and to find out how is it that we can develop a program to drive the sector forward by having happier cows and having more active cows based on our management systems to improve productivity, to improve cow comfort, and to improve our overall genetic program to ensure that we have high yielding milk cows. So let's get on the road and tag out. Follow me, the nutritionist in the field.
I'm in the back of Mr. Taylor's van. A real old museum of a van. One of those Bob Marley Land Rovers, land discovery vehicle. We're about to check out one of the greatest things that's happening in Jamaica, livestock sector for a good while. Alright, Mr. Taylor.
Well, I have been in dairy farming 40 years and I breed Holstein cattle on my dairy. I believe I've been very successful. I used to exhibit Holstein cattle at the Denby show and I always came home with Supreme Grand Champion prizes in the bull section, the cow section and the heifer section. But over the years, I realized that there's some limitation to my animals, the Holsteins. And the limitation is heat stress. The Holstein, as we all know, is a temperate climate animal. And the heat stress. Now, it's just since recently I realized the importance of cow comfort since working with Dr. Mota from Hypro. And I realized that I should have more shaded areas on my farm, especially we have the feed out area. And even the lanes going down to the pasture should have been more shaded. So I realize now that heat stress is a detrimental factor to my Holsteins. The Jamaica Hope, I decided to introduce the Jamaica Hope on my Holsteins, that being there and tropical bred animals. But there are limitations again with this cross. One of the limitations is the size. I realized that the butchers, when my cows are culled, the butchers don't go too much for the Jamaica Hope type for more than one reason. I think one of the reasons is the color of the fat, but also the ears and the carcass where they wanted the heavy muscles. We don't see that with this cross. So since recently, again through Dr. Mota Hypro, the Girlanders, and what I have already observing, that during the day, the oldest ones are 5 months. These will be out in the sun while the Holsteins will be under the shade. So I believe that this is the solution to the heat factor with the Holsteins, and I think this is the way to go.
Check out stairs and let me.
Hi, Dr. Moto.
Hi, Khalil. Morning. The question I just asked, the importance of nutrition and dairy reproduction. I would broaden it in terms of cattle reproduction in general, but if you want to narrow it down to dairy, it's without proper nutrition, then we can pack up an entire reproduction program. Firstly, I'll start off with your dry cows, because you have to start from before the cows actually calve. You have to maintain good body condition scores. You have to ensure that transition feed from dry off into calving is excellent. Cows are maintained when they're dried off should be out of 5, there should be at least 4. A lot of times you go to farms, you see cows are dried off and they are probably 2.5 body condition scores, which will severely impact on the next lactation. So we have to ensure that we maintain body condition scores. What the feed is up to the nutritionist, like you normally formulate the ration. But what I can say is that you want to ensure that it's balanced, especially for mineral content in terms of calcium phosphate ratio, so that you don't get any metabolic conditions like hypercalcemia around calving and so on, and ketosis and so on. So they have to be ensured that they balance the ration for calcium and phosphorus and other selenium and other micronutrients. Alright, once the cows have calved, hopefully they are in their body condition score of at least 4, and that's very important. Like I said, I see most farms I go, I am very concerned that the cows that are calving in poor body conditions, especially heifers, once the heifers calve down in a poor body condition score, you have 3 challenges. Heifers are still growing, so they have whatever is offered for nutrition, maintenance must be taken care of, growth must be taken care of, milk production must be taken care of, and then reproduction. So if you are not going to meet all these needs, maintenance, growth, milk production, and for reproduction, then the animals are going to go in an issue. So you're going to shut down. Or always not recycling. Whatever nutrition is given, you'll be trying to make up on the maintenance, the growth, and lactation. So these animals go into negative energy balance, which makes it worse because they can't get enough dry matter intake. So they start to catabolize and feed off of their own body fat, then muscle. So the body condition score goes south rather than keep going up, it goes down. So you move from a cow calving at 2.5 down to 1.5 or 2. Challenge to get them pregnant. Challenge to even get them maintaining a 305-day lactation. Most of these animals don't start cycling until they're about 200 days, 150 days. Ideally want to be pregnant by 100 days. And then it's just like a domino effect. She dries off by 200 days and she's done. So for the other cows, it's the same thing. They have to be challenged with proper diet, balanced diet, to meet their maintenance. Most of them are mature, so we can take growth out of it. But they are high producing cows. Peak lactation, we are trying to get them pregnant at their peak lactation. Their body condition score is coming down also because they also go into negative energy balance. They can't take enough dry matter in to meet their requirements. And they also will start losing body condition. So if they are not calving down at 4, they compromise their body condition score, they compromise their ability to have their reproduction, their cycling activity intact, and they also will not be cycling, or takes a longer time for them to maintain a pregnancy. If they even get pregnant, they absorb it because there's so much stress on the body for milk production. And because they are negative energy balance, they are catabolizing, it's very difficult to get them pregnant. So to sum it up, nutrition is the cornerstone of reproduction and sustainable, profitable dairy production.
Hey guys, as you know, I did my study in Israel where I did my master's in veterinary and animal science. Now what I want to do is to share my experiences in Israel with you regarding their dairy sector, to see how is it that we can adopt some of their practices and principles to drive our sector forward. It was a lovely experience, and I believe Jamaicans should definitely experience a productive sector. Here I am at the Volcani Research Institute in Israel, a very famous institute that does research on the Israeli Holstein, the world leaders in milk production. To achieve the status of world leaders, it took a lot of research into feeding systems, into animal cow comfort, and into animal breeding and selection.
You see? It almost smells like what we have. It is the corn silage. Not corn silage. It has No, it is with
When we had in our faculty, we are not allowed to touch because then you change it.
They change the weight.
At least contains, I think it has some
This is nice.
so it is like
Measure the weight of the feed, chewing time.
at least 22, 20 ingredients that they have
In this.
How does it work with the slurry? You make a through that it gets dry?
Of a tractor that
No,
comfort.
this one you clean the wet ones, but the other ones is only
It's
you
really
turn it
whole
off,
steam.
turn it off.
From this video, you can understand the level of advanced technology that they're using to determine the animals' dry matter intake and investment into infrastructure to provide comfort for their animals. Look at even this calf pen, it's really beautiful and neat. So I do hope that you understand where is it that we as a sector need to go before we can actually see productive milk production. Research, record keeping is important, improvement in our feeding systems. Thank you guys for supporting my YouTube channel, and great things grow with Hypro.